Hi, everyone. Welcome to Cookbook Connection. I'm your host, Vivian Doctora. I created Cookbook Connection really with the purpose and intent to build a deeper connection with people. Since I love to cook, so why not have them share their favorite cookbook and then the story behind it? So that's what Cookbook Connection is all about. In each episode, we will have our guests share their favorite cookbook, the story behind it, and we'll also have them talk about recipe within the cookbook that really connect with them on why the story behind it, and maybe give some tips on how to make perfect that recipe within the cookbook. And if I have time, I may try to follow that recipe and make a dish and maybe share with you guys sort of my how my take on it on that special recipe. So, well, welcome to our first episode of Cookbook Connection. And today I'm going to have one of my favorite guests on as our first episode. And that person is me. Yep, it's me. You heard it right. The first episode, it's going to be me interviewing me about my favorite cookbook. Just like you, or a lot of the listeners out there, I have collected a lot of cookbooks throughout the year. I have from Zero Belly Cookbook, all the recipe in there, they're under a certain calories just to keep me healthy. I also have 1 point, Whole 30, which is trying to do a elimination diet, focus on sort of a less gluten, focus on whole food. So Whole 30 is another one of my favorite. I also have this cookbook that my sister brought me for one of my birthday, just as delicious. And then some other one I really want to highlight. But one of my favorite one is this. You're like, this is not a cookbook. Yes, it is not a cookbook published by anyone. But within here, they're full of recipe that I collected, or actually I kind of wrote it down. In high school, we have a home economic class. I don't know, do they still have it in school these days? But home economic class in high school, they teach you how to do sewing, make blankets, and they also teach you how to cook. So I have a lot of recipe here that I kind of wrote down in that class. There's Chinese donuts. There's also like soybean products. We talk about using soybean products and different type of soybean products. We also have some really good yummy recipe here, like steamed sweet dumpling. Oh my God, I don't even know that I have that. Back then, my handwriting is so much better. We also have like crystal cake, rice cake recipe in here. There are curry beef triangles, kind of like a mimosa situation. We also have sweet and sour spare ribs, which is one of my favorite things to make. There are just so many of it. As you can see, it's sort of falling apart in some way because I had it since I was in high school. I also built on it as I get older. As I see some recipe I kind of wrote it down. And one of the things that I also have in here is when we first moved here in Chicago, way back, long time ago, we were living in my aunt at Homewood, Flossmoor, and she loves to bake. So she will share a lot on the weekend, we'll bake, and she'll share some of her recipe with me. And one of the favorite one I like to make is cream puffs. So I have a cream puffs recipe here. It's kind of loose, but I use it all the time. Beer bread, her favorite carrot cakes, fresh apple cakes, and there's also muffin and custard pie in here. So cream puff, out of all of those, is one of my the recipe that I love to make. It's so easy, super simple. You just need some elbow grease because you kind of have to stir as you add each eggs to the flour. As some of you guys know, when you know how to make cream puff, which now we have a mixer. So it's much easier than to try to stir it. But there's some fun into like stirring it. I think it's so much fun in that process. So this is really by far one of my favorite cookbooks. Maybe I'll try to make some cream puff this weekend and I'll share sort of like sort of step-by-step process on how to do it. So and other one of my favorite cookbook, I know I have many. We don't have to just pick one. Even my guests, if you have many different cookbook, just bring on several of your favorite cookbook or one that you really enjoy it and a great story behind it. And this is another one. And my sister got it for me for one of my birthday. It's called Just as Delicious. It's from Miriam Gillespie. You see, it's got like some food on it because I maybe like flip it when I was cooking. I have learned so much in this cookbook. What I love about Miriam is that her recipe is super simple. She make it super fun. It's so easy to follow. One of the things that I discovered and made several times and even sort of put it and sell it is called apple pie bao donut. This is so much fun to make, and it's also very popular through Bao Destination. I have a lot of customers really like it. I kind of tweak the recipe a little bit just to make it super simple for me when I'm mass producing it. But this is one of my really favorite recipe. It's not a salty version. It's kind of like bao, but have some really yummy apple pie flavor in it. I love making this. My kids love to eat it, and super simple and sort of easy to make. But there's so much more recipe in here. And like I said, she makes everything super simple. Thai curry puff, looking at it just make me want to make it. So I may try this one this weekend too. So if I have time. So there's just so much more in here. She make it super simple and also have a lot of cultural in each of these recipes. Her mom is Thai. So she is kind of half Thai. So there's a lot of different recipe. There are Thai recipe in here as well. And I learned a lot of technique even from making bao through her as well. So I really love this cookbook. If you haven't followed her on YouTube, she has some really great cooking video on YouTube as well. She also sells a lot of different products as well. So I just love her. Another cookbook that even also it's from my sister. My sister much know that I love to cook and just want to explore. She also have one of these. It's a very Chinese cookbook. I'm Chinese, so yeah, very Chinese cookbook. So there are so many things in here. I think what I love beyond the recipe in this cookbook is the story behind the creator, which they are father and son duo. They have a TV show called Test Kitchen, where they kind of perfect some of the traditional Chinese recipe and then sort of a fun things. There is a story behind them within the cookbook that is really touching about how they are really at first don't get along, but through the cooking show, they're able to build their relationship and how they started off as a YouTube star, how they kind of sort of build relationship through creating the YouTube channel. And it's really improved their relationship. That just go to show that cooking really have a way to bringing people together. And that's probably another reason why that I really wanted to do this podcast. I know it's going to take time away from some of the things that I have to do. But I really feel like lately, especially stepping out in the corporate world to be on my own as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of time I really just talk to myself and just really ask myself, like, should I do this? Should I not do that? And your circle of people that you kind of hang out with, just because I'm really busy with different businesses, you really just don't have that social time like I had before. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love being an entrepreneur. I love building businesses. I love just creating, strategizing, and just bringing my vision to life. So I have no regret on that end. But I really feel like this is truly the way for me to really connect with other people and kind of really listen to the story, learn about the culture, kind of because we all have a story, right, to tell. So why not through the love of cooking? So another recipe that I really love and enjoy doing here is the shrimp and pork fried rice. They're super yummy and easy to do. Another great recipe here that I like is the char siu style spare rib. It's kind of like char siu, but it's in spare rib format. It's super yummy. My kids love ribs, so it's just a great way of jazz it up the ribs than the usual one that we usually have. So these are some of my favorite cookbook. I have, I'm telling you, a stack of cookbook. Like I said, I collect throughout the year. And it's just fun to sometimes pull one or two out. Sometimes I also find recipe online, like Pinterest, on YouTube. What I do is just like this little, my favorite cookbook that I have. I just write on my little notebook and then kind of refer to it later on. It's funny how I also have this Cool Whip, the cover of Cool Whip. There is some like great recipe of how to make a jello, of fruit jello or angel cake on here. There are just full of like different recipe that I collected that have this little recipe card. So this is just like a gem if I look at it. There's just so many things in here that I collected throughout the years. Funny, I even have a piece of paper of like a recipe. So that just, and also there are also a lot of things about sewing, different technique of sewing. This truly is a classic cookbook that I have. It's gonna be stay with me, and hopefully I'll pass on to my kids, and then they can look through it and try to make some of these recipe within it. So that's my cookbook and some of the recipe, and a lot of things that I look for when I look for a recipe and when I cook. I'm a really simple person. I always tell people if there are more than maybe 5 or 6 ingredients, I kind of like them. I don't have time for that. Or the step is too complicated. I'll go trying to find something else that's less complicated to follow. So that's kind of my rule of thumbs when I'm looking for recipes. So if you have any cookbook that you want to share, comment below in my YouTube channel. Would love to check it out to see what they are. If you are interested in sharing your story and your favorite cookbook, please message me if you know my email address or text me. Or if you know of someone, refer it. And I would love to, or comment below the information. I'd love to connect with you. So it doesn't have to be here in Illinois. You can be anywhere in the world, and that's the beauty of technology. So that's it. That's the first episode of Cookbook Connection. So I hope to hear from you and can't wait to interview my first guest next week. You're in for a treat. She's a very good friend of mine, also my business partner of one of my businesses. And she also has some really great cookbook to share and the story behind it. So I can't wait to interview her and kind of find out a little bit more about those. So, and I hope to hear from you. So subscribe, like and comment, share this. This is, again, just something that I really am passionate about doing, not looking to gain anything or what have you. And maybe, like I said, make some cream puff this weekend and share with everybody. So again, thank you so much for listening. Cookbook Connection. You can find me on YouTube at Cookbook Connection. And I'm working on sort of creating Apple and other format of listening to podcasts as well. So stay tuned to those. So thank you so much for joining me and have a great and awesome day. I'll talk to you soon.